All right. All right. So give me a sec, guys, if you happen to jump in here. I'm making a build on the computer that is doing the streaming, so. I might be catching up here. The stream might be a little laggy here at the start, but I'm just going to get everything prepped here real quick. And just to make sure that I don't miss out on chat. So I will have the chat up on Restream and on Facebook and YouTube. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. And again, I am making a build on the same computer that I'm streaming on, so give me a quick second and I can push that to the PlayStation version. So I'm going to be showing you guys. Also, let me know if the audio sounds okay. I'm using this different condenser mic, which is a little more sensitive. Let's see here. Yeah, so the condenser mic here tends to be a little more sensitive, so if it's a little too loud or whatever the case, just let me know. I'm going to push the build here to the PlayStation real quick. There's some stuff on the debug menu I can't show you guys, or that I'm not 100% sure I can or cannot, so I'm covering it up with this splash screen in the background right now. But yeah, anybody who just came in, thanks so much for stopping by. Yeah, so this past weekend was my birthday, and I basically just spent it working on the game. Oh, hey, Blake. I'm late, but hope your birthday is cool, as is your game. Thank you, sir. Yeah. No, you're not late at all, man. I actually just started. I just, it takes a little while sometimes to kind of warm all this stuff up and make sure you got the right feed going and the right chat going and everything. But yeah, my birthday was great, man. It was, I spent it all day just working on the game. All weekend I just spent kind of reworking a lot of the title screen UI. So basically, the title screen is actually a lot more like how I want it to be right now, where I'm going to move my camera over to the other side. Woo! Actually, I'll leave it over here. Why the hell not? So anyway, yeah, the title screen, for a while now, I've actually been wanting to do the title screen where instead of having all of the options listed out, you have one option that just kind of, changes in that one space. It's kind of hard for me to explain sometimes when I was trying to explain it to some friends. But yeah, it's you'll see what I mean when I start it up here. But it's basically one line. So essentially, it's supposed to take up a lot less space, right? So that you can use more screen real estate for other things, like, for example, for future stuff like putting the leaderboards on the title screen, and also the audio panel and stuff like that. So I've had a lot of requests. Obviously, the game's been in early access, so all this stuff hasn't been implemented, and that is kind of the whole point of early access. Is I want to make sure that people have what is needed, basically. So like on PC, it's a little different. Like on console, you don't need to worry about switching out to different resolutions and stuff like that, right? But people like having access to like turning off VSync and stuff like that. So for those panels, and you'll see right now when I push the build here to the PlayStation. Okay, so give me a second. Like I said, I can't show you, at least I'm not sure if I can show you guys these screens. That's why I kind of have this static background in the background here. Okay, neighborhood. And let me go ahead and push this. Okay. Cool. All right, so while that pushes to the PlayStation, which it just did. It's actually pretty fast about that. I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to the PS4 now. Wait for that to go away. Okay, here we go. All right, awesome. So, yeah, again, I just basically changed out a lot of the UI stuff, or not a lot, but the start screen. And this is really cool. So if you guys didn't catch the stream last time, I was basically going over how on the title screen, it's a licensing thing on consoles. Not so much on PC, because on PC you just kind of pay for your license. You could do whatever the hell you want. You don't need to do this, but it's part of the like TRC requirements, or not even TRC. It's licensing with Unity, not Sony. It has nothing to do with Sony. But they basically require you to put, you know, the Unity logo up for, you know, a couple of seconds or something like that when the game starts up. So for those of you who aren't familiar, like, you know, whenever you start up a game, all those logos that pop up at the beginning of the game are basically just licensing things, you know, like, oh, powered by NVIDIA, or, you know, the Umbra engine is this and that, and audio stuff like WWYs and stuff like that, Ys. But yeah, so my way to get around that was I always wanted the player to be able to start the game immediately. And I don't know if you guys have played a game called Braid, but Braid was really cool about that. Braid would just basically, the game started, there were no splash screens, there was nothing like that, no like, you know, little disclaimer things at the bottom. It was basically like drops you in, title screen, bam. And you could immediately start controlling the character from that moment, and then you just kind of move in. Actually, there was no title screen. It was just like kind of a background or whatever. You move the character, and as your character, you know, walked across the level or whatever, that's when Braid would come up, and oh man, it was I love that game to death, man. Braid is so rad. But yeah, so from the beginning when I started designing this game, I wanted it to be something where you could just kind of join in right away and just really quickly, like, you know, bust in. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do here. So my sacrifice, or whatever you could call it, is to just put the Unity logo up on the title screen and just leave it there. Like that. I mean, it's not intrusive. I mean, you obviously notice it, but it, you know, small price to pay to just get you in the game as soon as possible. I'm not using anything else that requires licensing or anything, so yeah, a lot of those title screens also, like the title cards, were just like Ask an Enemy Studios. Obviously, you know, this game was done by them, or by me, whatever. If not, you could see that in the credits, you know, stuff like that. The music was done by myself also, but then, you know, if I put the Howard Work thing over there, yeah, exactly. So that kind of defeats the purpose. So anyway, obviously because of PSX, I'm focusing on the PlayStation version of the game. Obviously, right now, there's no big differences between like PC, PS4, or whatever. Outside of basically what happens is on console, performance isn't so great. So, for example, on console right now, the frame rate takes a little bit of a dip once you get chaotic. Which is like, you know, activating your shields and having your multiplier active and all that kind of stuff. So I'll go down and start this up, but the whole purpose of this is to show the title screen. So obviously none of this in particular has changed outside of now when you start the game. And again, let me know if the audio is a little too loud, because I can hear it through the microphone and the headset, but I just want to make sure it's non-obtrusive. So if it is, by all means, just let me know in the chat. In the meantime, actually, let me double check. Yeah, I know for a fact that's pretty loud. There we go. All right, so that should be good. Again, if it's not, feel free to let me know. Facebook is acting up again. Oh, sorry about that, man. Yeah, it's a little shitty. Facebook isn't really that great. I think YouTube and Twitch are probably where it's at. So anyway, yeah, this is the new title screen. So the UI is different. So now like the panel kind of comes in from the right here, and you have that one option, right? So you have your mission Atom, which is basically another day, another mission. So that big empty space underneath it, where kind of like the bed is, that's where I'm gonna have descriptions and where the panels are pretty much gonna live. So whenever you see stuff like like I was talking about, audio panels, leaderboards, and stuff like that. All that stuff, theoretically, for now anyway, because I'm still figuring it all out, but should fit right there in that little section. But this is what I've been working on, and I was freaking out that I was able to pull it off. I was gonna say it seems like it was easier than I thought it was gonna be, but when I first started thinking of how to pull this off, I couldn't do it, and I kind of just gave up and just left the list of options on the front. So now you can just kind of hit down on the D-pad, or up, of course, and that's how you select all the different options. So notice they're all on the same line, which means I have all this extra space that's not taken up by just a UI filling up the screen. So small little thing, but honestly, I think it makes a big difference. Also, so this is a bug. This is something I need to work on here when I'm done, is the tiers. So notice the little tier in the center of the screen, or in the center of the menu. You can now actually select the tier from the beginning of the game. So if you want to go to tier 1, if you want to go to 2 or 3 immediately from the beginning, you can totally do that. I'm not going to promise anything, but I am actually working on possibly doing even a tier 0, which, you know, would make sense. Tier 0 is just like a practice run. Like, you can do it as often as you want with no penalty. And then whenever you're ready, just start up tier 1, 2, or 3, and you're ready to go. So the any tier obviously above 0 though is gonna respond to you with the leaderboard stuff. So if you know you die, you wipe all your leaderboards, all that kind of stuff. So you really do need to pay attention to that kind of stuff, and as always, know that you want to start up the game. So yeah, so this is actually a bug. I need to fix this. The tiers shouldn't be there. It should only pop up whenever you get to Mission Atom, because that's really the only time you need to be selecting tiers. So here, you can select 2 or 3. For the sake of the stream, since I actually haven't really done tier 3 on a stream, because I've had to get to it instead of just kind of being able to select it, outside of like a real quick debug thing or something. I'll go ahead and start off on tier 3 so you guys can see it. So, most of you have probably seen this, but let's go ahead and start it up. Also, I'll be able to test some bugs to see what happens if, you know, it doesn't kind of... Nice. Blake, fuck yeah, man. That's what I'm talking... Or, yeah, hate speech. Yeah, man. Totally. So, yeah, again, this is the PS4 version. Thanks for stopping by the Twitch, by the way, man, because, yeah, Facebook's acting up. I'm sorry about that. I actually have the Facebook up here on my iPad just to get the chat going. And what are the tiers? Difficulty level? Hey, Andrew, what's up, man? So, yeah, tiers, if you're not familiar with them, are basically... I wouldn't say they're difficulty. I would just say they're like another challenge. You know what I mean? So it's not like your typical thing where when you, Hummus, what's up, man? What's up, buddy? Yeah, tears for tears. So essentially, that's actually why I spelled it tears. For those of you who didn't catch that, most of you I'm sure probably did. I called it tears because tears, it's like you're shedding tears. So it's awesome, actually, when people tell me, like, hey, did you know you misspelled tier? I'm like, nope. Actually, it's super intentional. So that's awesome. Good, man. I'm doing good. So Lieutenant Hummus is in the chat here with Blake on the Twitch stream. Andrew is on the Facebook chat here. So I am managing multiple chats, just so you guys know. Going good, man. I'm basically showing off the new like layout for the what is it called, the title screen, and this stuff will be coming to the early access version here soon. But it's not fully it's still a little buggy, and I'll show you guys why. So right now, for example, dude, I'm on tier 3. So you're now going to be able to select the tier that you're on. So the tier you want to start on. So you'll have 1, 2, and 3. You could choose it from the beginning if you want to. So here's the thing. I don't know if you were here for this, dude, but I was also explaining that I'm going to look into doing a tier 0, which would be like a kind of like a tutorial type thing, right? So that say you have some friends over, you kind of want to show them the game, but you don't want to. I've had this a lot, like at shows and stuff. Like it's like, hey, what if I want to show my cousin the game or something, or I want to let them try, but they're on my profile. Granted, on consoles it's a little different. You could just log someone else in. Regardless. It's a really good way to just kind of throw someone in without the worry of having to worry about messing with your score. And you could do 0 all you want, and then just go into 1, and then 2 and 3, blah, blah, blah. But the rules still apply. So if you immediately jump to 3, you're obviously not going to have a bonus because you're not going to have a wager to go 2, 3 from 1. Ha! 2, 3 from 1. Anyway, yeah, so there's that you would kind of need to think about. Let's see what else. How does betting your... Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the stream's a little behind, right? Yeah, so the other thing was... Oh, so here's the thing. I haven't really... I haven't put this up on the... Oh, actually, speaking of Discord. Well, yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind, I know fucking Ben and Blake and you guys are on the Discord. Or if you can, if not, it's no big deal. If you could just mention on the Discord that I'm streaming right now with some updates. And if anyone has any questions, by all means, feel free to ask. If you cannot do that for me, let me know. I'll just bring up Discord. It's not a big deal. I just don't want to have too much empty space not talking to people. Or, you know, showing the game. I'm obviously just sitting here on the screen. But, so, yeah, basically what happened is... oh, sweet. Dude, I just saw that. Thank you so much, man. Okay, so yeah, so the thing was, I want to do daily leaderboards, but here's the thing. Obviously, you guys know I'm not a programmer, so that stuff just flies above my head. The thing is, I've had my buddy Ivan, who's been a little active on the Discord there. He's the one who actually went in and coded the complete leaderboard system. Like, what I had was only on Steam. So the Steam leaderboards were a little... you know, like I wrote them pretty crappily, and then when I had to move over to like consoles, dude, I had to. I don't even know how I would have figured this out. If anything, I'm probably sure I would have. I've figured out so much stuff so far, but yeah, it would have taken me probably another year or something. I want to get this game done, dude. I want to start working on cooler stuff, and in this game too, not even necessarily just move on to the next thing. There's some stuff I want to start working on here that, for example, tier 3 stuff that I want to start messing with a lot more, and clean that up, because that also still needs to be cleaned up. For example, tier 3, like obviously, you know, you get your what I call fuck ups or whatever, right, where everything just kind of splits, you know, screen splits, whatever. But there's no real like animation or anything that lets you know what your bonus was and stuff like that. So I'm working on maybe doing something that, because I also don't want to do too much, because obviously there's already so much on the screen. Putting all this work into animating like a bonus that you're gonna miss anyway doesn't really matter. The whole thing that matters from the beginning is your score. As long as you see what your score is, I personally think that's the most important thing. Blake says daily leaderboards would be cool, but wouldn't it slightly negate the purpose of cleaning Oh, so here's the thing, and this is what led to the tier 0 thing. Is my version of leaderboards, this is the thing, right, is I'm never like standard with what you do. My thing of leaderboards was I was actually going to make the game revolve. The game revolves around leaderboards right now, period. But the way daily leaderboards would have worked is it would only allow you to submit 1 score a day. So you could do it every day. So the purpose behind that was to get people to play it daily, right? Like any game, you kind of want to do that to get people to play it daily, because I know, you know, there are people that are, you're not going to play this game for, you know, 2-3 hours. Well, maybe. Shit, I don't know. There are people that have been doing that at PAXs, so that's surprised the shit out of me. But yeah, it's the idea of getting people to play it daily, even if it's just like, okay, this is my run, right? And with daily leaderboards, it's what you tend to do is you'll go and you do a run, and that's kind of it. You put the game up and you're done. But my thought behind this was that if there is a daily leaderboard, secret tier 4, that is nearly absolutely to see what you're doing, much less. I kind of get where you're going there, man. Yeah, I don't want to lose my train of thought real quick, though, but impossible. Okay. So the thing with daily leaderboards was basically, okay, well, what I would do is you can play the game as long as you want, and then you can only submit your score once, right? Once a day. So, you know, say you played it the first time and you got like 1,500 or something. They're like, ah, fuck, that was a terrible run. But your leaderboard wasn't affected, and it's like, do you want to push leaderboard? And it's like, yes or no, whatever. You're like, no, I could do better. So the next run you do, like, say instantly you go up to like 1 million on that second run from 1,500 up to 1 million, right? You're like, this is a good score, man, but I could probably do better. You could see where that leads, right? So you get in this kind of loop of just playing it over and over again. Granted, maybe you're kind of doing that right now. You kind of just jump in and do that. But I personally do feel like there is something to not being able to just kind of play and then push the score. When I see it from that third-person perspective, right? Like, to me, I just play it and play it and play it. It doesn't matter. Like, the leaderboards matter to me, but not in the sense of, like, I'm going to lose my score. Also, let me know if I'm just kind of rambling a bunch. But, okay, so let me go back to Hummus here. So that was Secret 2-4. That is both sides are first-person. Dude! So, yeah, you guys know, like, I mean, I've been working on this thing for a long time. I have some cool ass things that I could be doing, but again, other things kind of take precedence, right? Like, obviously, getting the game first and foremost running and stuff to where people like you guys are having fun playing it. That's most important. Second to that is doing like functionality. So stuff like the audio panels. So people that stream and stuff, like that didn't make me rage and love it. Awesome. So yeah, that's kind of the thing is you fuck, I actually lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So the idea was, okay, functionality. I've had people who stream the game who say, you know, there's no controls for music, so they kind of have to go out of their way and use like system commands or whatever fancy apps that they have to make the game be lower. But the thing is that's fine, right? You can just do that. But the thing is, they also still want the audio cues. So all they really want is the music to be lower, or just completely remove it and then leave the audio cues. So that comes with an audio panel. That's something I haven't put in the game because for gameplay perspective, it doesn't fit. There's no reason to do anything there. But from a functionality perspective, it totally does, and that's kind of where I'm in right now. I'm in that transition to functionality where I'm still kind of working on some gameplay stuff. Just want to make sure I'm not missing chat. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where that goes. All right, real quick. So just, I guess, kind of chat amongst yourselves real quick, and I'll look over every once in a while if I see something in the chat. I will point it out. So yeah, if by any chance you guys have not played this in a while on Steam, because obviously, you know, there's people have other things to do. I finally added a sound to the Zastrous core. Obviously, you notice it's really quiet. That's because there's no music anymore during this scene here. And basically the music kicks in when you start the game. So, bam. Okay. So again, this should be a tier 3. Since this is the PS4 version, the leaderboards here at the bottom don't pop up until I get my first, I want to say point or material. Point. Cool. Yeah, so I am on tier 3. That's not necessarily a bug, it's just more of the way the functionality is being called. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that, but I am going to quote-unquote fix that, I guess. So yeah, immediately on tier 3. It's actually kind of cool, because, you know, there are some people, again, that don't care so much about the leaderboard that they're not, you know, they're actually willing to jump into tier 3 to just learn it, you know what I mean? And then it's like, oh fuck yeah. So picture-in-picture is my favorite. Hummus, I actually still need to fix the corners of the screen. Notice it doesn't stretch out completely, so that's just an animation bug. Yeah, so I'm gonna die, but there's a animation bug with the sprite that surrounds the camera on the right side that I didn't account for when the game goes picture-in-picture like that. So there's like a cutoff edge. Most people don't notice it. Some people do. But I appreciate people noticing that because it lets me know, fuck, okay, I do need to fix that ASAP. Okay, so here's the reference to the hate speech thing I was talking about. So I finally submitted my ESRB rating. I got an E for everyone because one of the things was, you know, you have to choose whether there's bad words or suggestive, blah, blah, blah. I actually thought it might be kind of cooler to just do something dumb. Hey, what's going on, man? On Periscope, I actually don't know how to pronounce that name. Fifth Habili? Habili? Just saying, hey, man. Saw you pop up in the chat. Just wanted to say what's up. So, yeah. One of the things was I finally submitted for the ESRB rating, and I got an E for everyone because I figured, you know, why limit how many people? I just noticed that's a bug, too. It says Tier 1, not Tier 3. Make a note of that real quick. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's kind of the thing, right, is, you know, one of the things is you have to say if you have bad words or if you have suggestive themes or whatever. And I just figured that this type of game, just because of my dumbass trying to say the word fuck because it's funny, you know, wasn't worth getting like an M rating. So I went ahead and just did the E for everyone and just replaced all the F-bombs with hate speech because people get offended and, you know, whatever. I was going to do free speech, but I thought hate speech was funnier. So anyway, bit of feedback. All right, so Blake has some feedback here. By the way, Fifth, just so you know, this is a dual hand disaster tracker. It's a game I'm working on by Ask an Enemy Studios. It's on Steam Early Access, so I'm chatting with some of the peeps who have access to the game and have some questions. And if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to ask him. He is on, or he or she, I don't want to assume here, are on Periscope, just so you guys know. So Blake says, a bit of feedback. I showed ADHD to one of my buddies, and he got bored quickly. I guess he's not one for leaderboard chasing, but he kept saying he didn't see the point, and there's no progression. Any comment on that regard? Yeah, so pretty simply put, man, it's all about the leaderboards. But the game itself should have a challenge that I would assume people would find fun, right? Because when people play the game like at a PAX or something, they don't immediately, you know, latch on to the leaderboard aspect of it. They just get more, and everyone has their own opinion, of course, dude. So maybe for him, he just doesn't like twin stick shooters or whatever. And I totally understand that. But from my point of view, it's an arcade game. It's just meant to just be like a Donkey Kong or a Pac-Man. Things along those lines, right? Where it's just like a really, really quick, you know, pick up and play kind of fun game. It doesn't need to be like beat you over the head with a story. It doesn't need to like, you know, give you customizations with a bunch of ships that just, again, it all goes back to the thing I was talking about at the panel at XPO, is the thing about scope, is you need to understand what you can pull off and what you can't. And since I'm only one person, having customization of ships and stuff like that is just extra time, and customization to me is not fun. To me, fun is gameplay, so I focused on that first and foremost. Again, going back to the thing about PAX panels and stuff, people will play it, they get surprised that you're controlling two things at once, and then from there, it really is just make or break. Like, is it fun for me to have this challenge, or is it just frustrating and I give up? So, like, I fully respect that. Yeah, I honestly would like, and this is the thing I love about going to PAX and stuff like that and showing the game at events, is I get to talk to these people face to face, right? So like, I would have asked that dude like immediately, like, well, what don't you like about it, right? Or like, you know, like, yeah, I would have gone from there. But it's also kind of instantly, I've gotten used to reading people and knowing like this game's just not for you. Like, you know what I mean? And you know, don't feel bad. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. Don't feel bad for me that someone, like a buddy of yours, might not like your game. That's cool, man. Like, I really don't want people to feel forced to play this game. There's no reason for that. If you're just kind of like, oh man, they just don't understand how cool it is, then, you know, that's between you and your buddy, I guess. Like, but yeah, man, like, it's all about just the leaderboards and just being like, personally, I love it, or I still wouldn't be here. Awesome. Yeah, thanks, man. So yeah, that's kind of like what I'm saying. He liked the gameplay, but he said he wanted special missions. Yeah. Okay. So again, that goes back to what is it? The scope thing again. So like, so here's the thing, Blake, and this I think goes specifically to you, man, because when we were at XPO, you were talking about getting burnt out and you know, doing things like that. Not necessarily that this is one of them, but this can be one of the reasons that people kind of get burnt out, because they try to accommodate for someone else, right? So they'll see that, for example, I could be like, oh fuck, your buddy wants special missions. Damn, okay, I'm gonna add another year of development just so I can do that. When that, you know, maybe there's more than just him who think that, but am I going to add a bunch of work to my own plate that I personally didn't even, I don't want to say believe in, because that's not the right word, but I think you know what I'm getting at. Like, why would I create a mountain of work for me that I didn't have in the design docs to begin with, right? That's not what the game was going to be. Don't misunderstand that, though, for someone just kind of pointing something out, right? So, like, if he pointed that out, and then I was like, you know what? This is really boring. It does need blah, blah, blah. Then there's nothing wrong with that, because then from that point, you started thinking, well, you know, I actually did think there was something missing to begin with. And now I just kind of, yeah. Sorry, guys. So I did notice there was some chat here on Facebook. Yeah, so Andrew said trying to pull off a nostalgic experience. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's kind of the idea, man, is it's like going back to the old school games that like I grew up on, right? And again, it's that plus not being overwhelmed, not overwhelming yourself with a game you can't create. So I've always felt that those are the things, yeah, you can't please everybody. I don't think that's the way ADHD should go anyway. Of course, exactly. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. To not keep rambling on it, right? Is, yeah, it's basically make the game you want to make and listen. I think I said this at the panel, is listen to what people tell you, but not what they tell you to do. And you kind of have to understand that to yeah, get it. But anyway, yeah. So let's go ahead and making sure to catch up on the chat. Multiple chats here to see. Yeah. So let me go ahead and just start back up here real quick. And I will... Let me see if this works this way. Oh, cool. That actually works better. Sorry, guys. So I am basically just multi-managing chats here. Kel wasn't feeling too good today, so she can't help me. She's usually my, what do you call it? My backup, checking all the chats for me and stuff like that. So yeah, Facebook is acting up a little weird right now, so let me actually just type that out for people. I don't know if they're able to hear this or not, so. Oh, I guess they would be, because Andrew has been replying, so. Yeah, so I hope I didn't ramble too much. Reader, what's up, man? Yeah, sorry, man. I'm trying to manage all these chats here. Just showing off some updates on the game, my man. So yeah, there's no questions in the chat. I'll go ahead and start up another run here, but I already did catch some bugs there. Nothing too drastic or huge. But yeah, so Reader, who actually just jumped in, and those of you guys who did miss the beginning, this is the new title screen. It's still a work in progress. It's missing some information. In the bottom center, the bottom right of the screen, you'll have a details panel. That's where all the stuff will pop up based on what you choose here. You can now choose the tier you want to be in from the beginning. So if you want to jump straight to 3, straight up do it. You can do it that way. And, you know, just start it up. So let's go ahead and go back into tier 3. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'm also trying to make it look a little more pro for PSX. So that's actually one of the bigger reasons why I've been working on this stuff. Cool, Andrew. Thanks, man. So yeah, Andrew said there's no issue with the Facebook on his end, so that's good. It lets me know it could just be an internet issue with some people. Hell, maybe not even an internet issue. It could just be the, what do you call it? Facebook app. So I have a lot of new people here. Explain the game to them if you can. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, hopefully the people on the stream who are watching, who have been watching, don't mind me doing this. So yeah, this is a split-screen single-player twin-stick risk 'em up. It is called a dual-hand disaster tracker, and it is a game where you're controlling both ships at the same time. So this is running on the PS4 right now. It's just a regular PS4, not a PS4 Pro. It's just a test kit. I'm running it on the PS4 because I'm going to be showing it on this platform at PSX next weekend, so that's going to be awesome. You basically control both ships. You have your left stick as your left side, kind of in the way of that ship there. Your right stick is your right ship. So the left side is the right side is the only side that doesn't take damage. The left side is basically all aggressive. So essentially what you want to do is destroy the left, earn your points. On the right side, you want to recover resources. So on the right side, you're always following the arrows on the ship. You're always going to be going in that direction wherever they're pointing. There's going to be small and big arrows, orange and green. And on the right, you want to recover resources. So when you're on a resource, you essentially want to line up your shot on the left and kill an enemy so that when you're on a resource, you're actually multiplying the points you're getting. And the whole purpose of the game is to get a high score, like, you know, any game like a Pac-Man or a Galaga or whatever. And you just want to rack up some points and leave with your points so you can stamp your leaderboard position. If you die in the process of getting points and you just kind of, you play mindlessly and you just die, you're going to lose everything and your leaderboard position is wiped out as well. So yeah, let me go ahead and start this up here. Reader, if you have any questions, obviously feel free to ask in the chat and I will catch up on them as soon as I see them. If you guys happen to catch anything that's new, obviously point it out as well, because there's some slight subtle changes I made to like the UI and stuff. But yeah, so for you guys also, this is kind of different too, is or for people that are new, I'm on tier 3, which is a little more challenging. So there's heat-seeking fireballs and stuff. So you starting the game off isn't necessarily this hard. I just kind of want to show the new implementation of being able to jump into whatever tier you want from the beginning of the game. That is new. You haven't been able to do that before. So yeah, this might take a little more concentration. So this is what tier 3 does to you. It actually you know, messes with your game. So it'll start to flip your screen on the left and the right. It'll swap your screens and stuff. So here's the thing though, so long as you can survive that, you will actually get a bonus for doing so. And the bonus is listed underneath the EVA control. So, for example, let's see. Anytime you pick up material or anytime that you use material, the EVA control bonus in the center of the screen will pop up. So my chance for a high bonus, my chance is good for a high bonus. I'm actually sucking real bad because it's hard to pay attention and talk at the same time. But yeah, so that was actually, honestly, the worst of the EVA controls is invert on the right. What that means is your right stick is now up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left. Again, it's all about being able to overcome these obstacles, and if you can overcome them, you're rewarded like massively. Let's go ahead and quit here and go back to let's start at tier 1 just so I can kind of get through some of this stuff, not scare people off too quickly, right? And then at the end, like I always do, I always like to end it on a good solid run. So let's just do tier 1. Because I also need to test some bugs. This is a good way for me to test some bugs and stuff. For example, when you start up a new game and you go to tier 2, there might be something that breaks here at the beginning. Before I start, I saw chat here, so okay, just posted. Nice! Alright, so Ben was just playing. He just posted his 7.7 million score for tier 1. Just so you know, dude, yeah, this build that I'm running right now hasn't been pushed there yet. That doesn't mean the leaderboards aren't working. It's just in the sense of the being able to choose leaderboards and stuff like, or tiers. But I wanted to say that right on with your thing about pleasing everyone with art. If you try and please everyone, you dilute your vision so much. Yeah, you send all the good edges off. Exactly. Sand all the good edges off. Sorry. That's a good way to put it. Totally, man. It's going to be rough. And I actually, that's the thing, right? Is like, yeah, it's going to be rough. And if you over polish it, then it's too slippery. You can't really grasp it anymore, I guess is a good way to say it. Blake says, the game is basically, I don't have to leave now. I can keep fighting longer. Oh, hate speech. I died. I love that you keep bringing in the hate speech, man. That's awesome. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Looks like a game multitaskers would excel at. You'd be surprised, man. You know, there are people who say, I can't multitask. But you do it all the time. You know, you do it in like a Call of Duty or something. You have like a, your little menu, your, what do you call it? Your mini maps and all that kind of stuff. You're looking at power-ups and stuff. Granted, this is a little more, you know, you actually are kind of doing the two things a little more, you're more like I forget, I can't think of the word, involved. You're more involved in both sides. Strippy is all hell to play, man, but it's fun. Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, let's start this up. Tier 1. One-handed. Also, I understand, like, so people, the thing is, people who are on like early access also, I had someone post something about the Russian firewall, which is, you know, the thing that starts to come in on you after like 2.5 minutes. I do not deny there's nothing there that really explains how to get out of it or, you know, deal with it. And that is not your guys' fault at all. I'm actually still working on that. I'm hoping to have like something implemented by PSX that at least warns you and lets you know there's a sound and stuff like that. There are cues in the game, like if you pay attention to the pro tips when you die and stuff like that, you know, it does give you hints. And I kind of reworded those a little more to be a little more explicit about it. But I'm working on that kind of stuff, so don't worry too much about it. That's not your problem, that's mine. All you really need to know is how to do it, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and I'm sure someone there can answer it for you. If you want to figure it out on your own, more power to you, man. Repair successful. I'm also curious to know, for those of you who are playing it on Steam on early access, how many of you are actually using the down on the left side to pull the parts or the power cells into you sooner, because that's also not where I want it to be right now. It's I need to use a collider to detect. So for those of you who don't know, this is what I'm talking about. Push down, it pulls it right into you. I want to build a collider that will actually detect when you're in front of the power cell. That way, I'll show you here. So like if I'm over here on the left side and there's two of them coming down just like that, they both come at the same speed, which is kind of cool. Because you can kind of time it. So like right now I can just grab that one and yeah. And then you can kind of zoom over and grab the other one, but sometimes when you miss it, it feels a little shitty. And this way, when you're in front of it, that's the only time it'll pull it into you, which is kind of rad. So I just added that not too long ago, Ben, just so you know, man. Yeah, so Hummus was asking, or saying he didn't know about the, or I'm assuming that's what it was. I kind of missed the chat there. Oh shit. Okay, so this is the Russian firewall, just so you guys know. I also need to add an audio cue to that as well, so that when you charge up your BFP, it's more of a, you get feedback for it, so you know you're charging it up. Right now, it feels like limp because there's no feedback to you pulling the trigger, except for on the Xbox One rumble triggers. Actually, it lets you know you're pulling it, which is kind of cool. But obviously that's not a PlayStation thing, so I need to figure out the best way to do that is obviously just audio cue. So I didn't want to put in an audio cue for boosting, simply because I thought that might just be extra sound for no reason. Like, I mean, I might experiment with it still. It's not a priority right now. Just think about it. You're moving over here, shooting stuff, and all of a sudden, like, I don't know. Yeah, like I still maybe need to work on that one. But the BFP definitely, because it would feel good to know it goes like and then you blast it off, right? Like that would be pretty rad. Shit. Yeah, so this is right. You can't pause the game. Actually, technically I can, but I can't because I can't show the home screen of the PlayStation 4 reasons.
Repair successful.
Okay, so you guys chat amongst yourselves really quick. I'm gonna try and focus on blasting some shit real fast. If you ain't blasting, you ain't lasting. And once I'm done with this run, I will catch back up with chat. See, just like that. So I don't know if you guys caught that. But yeah, so I can speed this up. The cool thing is, I was telling my girlfriend, I was telling Kel that I can now add, you know how I'm always talking about, oh, it's like you're playing Galaga and Pac-Man at the same time. Now I can add a bit of Tetris, because now you're kind of pulling the blocks towards you, but you can still fuck yourself. Yeah, pretty funny. Also, yeah, I don't know if you guys are talking about this on chat at all, but I don't know if you guys have also caught that when you're on a resource, you no longer take damage, which I thought was huge, because I started noticing when I was explaining it to people at events, my thing was, okay, follow the arrow, get to the resource, line up your shot, pull the trigger. And that's all, you know, good or whatever, but okay. Here's the other thing. Okay. So I died. Let's check on chat real quick. So yeah, one of the things I started noticing people do was they were asking, geez, what was it? PAX South, definitely, my man. I will be there. Block pulling, yes. Reader, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So block pulling is like, yeah, Tetris, where you're just kind of pulling in the blocks quicker. Let me go up here to chat real quick. Thanks, man. Jack? I'll just call you Jack. It's unique looking. Not many games are really unique anymore. Thanks, man. It really does mean a lot when people compliment on the art direction and stuff, because I had none. It was more of a way to solve a problem, if that makes sense. Homing fireballs are the bane of my existence. So let me know if they're a little jerky on Steam also. I need to look into that and see why. On PS4, I don't think it does that. I'll go into Tier 2 right now and test that out, but 20,000 times bonus is so good. Hell yeah, it is, dude. So I think that's what's definitely going to lead to some vortex breakers. Because if you really take advantage of that, you know, you could get up like pretty high pretty quick. The other thing is, so for those of you who aren't familiar with the Russian firewall, the closer it is, the higher the bonus is. So it's meant to incentivize you to kind of like push your luck and see if you can keep killing enemies on the left while letting that wall cave in on you, which is super awesome. Okay, so I kind of answered that sort of. Hummus also said, to be honest, it might be good. It might be too good, but what do I know? Honestly, man, that's kind of the thing I liked about that is because of the Vortex Breaker, I'm not so worried about bonuses anymore because I want people, again, it's a risk 'em up. You know, you only bet more when you get more. So that's kind of the thing is that I want people to see bigger scores and be like, yeah, let's do it. And then that's where they die. Reader says, I use my Xbox controller, couldn't figure out the keyboard controls. Yeah, dude, so keyboard controls aren't necessarily, what is it called? Supported right now. So like I have them in there pretty much just for me when I'm working on the game. Say like I'm working on a plane or something, and I don't have access to a controller, or having to pull out a cable and plug that all in is just a pain in the ass. And they're mostly for me to just kind of have a mouse real quick and keyboard and be able to move stuff around. So it's not something I officially support yet. So I didn't want to waste time on making button prompts and all that kind of stuff for keyboard because, you know, I'm still not 100% sure I'll fully support it when the game's done. But yeah, it is primarily focused on gamepad. And even then, some buttons aren't shown in the game. And I did put a controller map in the Discord, so you guys can see what button does what. But I think for the most part, you guys already know. But if you have friends who have questions, feel free to send them over there. Did not know that was a thing. Okay, so Blake actually said the right screen gets harder with each tier, but I haven't noticed the left screen get any harder. Maybe the enemies would jump a step further. Yeah, so again, the left side isn't necessarily, or isn't really about difficulty. The right side is all about the difficulty. So the left side is all about just getting points. So if I made enemies just bounce around and move and stuff, like, there's already so much going on that you having to track where an enemy is and stuff like that was a little too much. Because I did have that in there at one point, but it became a little too much, like a little too difficult. So like enemies, instead of just coming straight down, they would like kind of like swerve and stuff. And yeah, like I just, it didn't work for me. Oh. Yeah, so I'm a little behind, obviously, Reader, but I saw that you mentioned a pause function. I'm actually going to work on that. I am going to put in a pause function because mostly because when you're in game, sometimes you do want to pause to adjust the audio. You want to pause to talk to your streamers or whatever, or even pause to like check the leaderboards, even though the in-game leaderboards are there. But there are, you know, valid reasons to pause and stuff. So yeah, I'm a little more lenient on that one. Pack South, yes, I answered that one. Awesome, dude. Well, good. I'll see you there as well. Yeah, totally. So yeah, Hummus says that the homing fireball was how he overflowed the integer 32. So let me see. Yeah, let's do this. I think I'll take it to one. The Russian firewall is now a good way to take advantage of getting some bonuses. Also, and this is thanks to a forgotten tune, when I was watching you guys play it that one time and I saw that the hazard bonus wasn't multiplying the overall bonus that you were getting. So now you can also, your hazard bonus multiplies the bonus that you have going on at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I can kind of make that a point here. Just in case it's not clear, a hazard bonus is actually what happens when you're recovering a resource and it's next to a hazard. So notice anytime a fireball comes next to me, the hazard bonus pops up in the center of the screen. All of your bonuses are now in the center of the screen. And remember, I was talking about UI animations and stuff like that. That's stuff I'm working on. So don't worry so much about how it's being shown right now. All that stuff is in the functioning phase of development, or the function that I was talking about earlier, where it's gameplay, function, polish. And those are, I just made those up. That's not something I learned at bullshit game design school. It's just my flow, my way of doing things. So yeah, when you're on a resource, notice you get a recovery bonus. But when you're on a resource and you're about to get hit by something, you get a hazard bonus. And you'll notice it's higher, like right there. So it's 50 times 4, not 100. Where it used to be just double what the recovery bonus was. So now it's yeah, it can be super beneficial. Because instead of, I think it's 500 points that you could get, now you could get like 5,000 or 1,000 or whatever. I'm terrible at math. So right now I'm getting it. Let me see if I can pull this off. Okay, material takes longer. I mean, quick. Material is easier to pick up. So, okay, 250 is max on that. Let's see how much I can get on this. Wow, I didn't time it right. So a lot of this stuff is kind of super mindless, right? Like you're just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill some dudes. But if you are willing to and take the time, you can take advantage of those bonuses differently. For example, there was a guy at Sam Arcade in Washington, D.C. that was playing the game and doing this kind of thing. So he would like move into the resource, he would weaken the enemy, then move in for the kill and then take advantage of the bonus. So he would use one resource more than others instead of just kind of taking them all up at once. So here's the thing, what I explained to him is that's cool. No one else had ever done that before. I wondered if someone would. I finally found someone that did. And what you could also do, the thing is material will actually go away after a while. So you kind of don't want to sit around for too long just letting material go away. And if you're kind of just teasing the material the whole time, you're letting a lot of material that's scattered around the level basically go away. So you're wasting it. What I would recommend doing is maybe picking all the parts up first so that at least you don't have to worry about parts anymore. And now you can kind of start toying with material. I don't know if that even really made sense, but that's kind of what I'm going for. Yeah, Reader, that's what I'm always talking about, man. Bullshit game design school. Yeah. Also, this is another thing with the pull mechanic on the power cells on the left. It's only supposed to be the D-pad, and right now because I have mouse or keyboard controls on the D-pad, they're kind of mapped to the same thing. So the left stick also works that way. So if you're kind of moving the left shift, but you kind of pull down a little by accident, it'll pull the thing down with you. I might end up leaving that, and that's where the collider will come to play, where at least it'll only pull it down if you're in front of it. Because it does feel kind of good if you're almost like pro level shit, right? Where like you don't even have to take your thumb off the stick. You can just kind of pull down on it and it goes, instead of having to take your thumb off the stick to hit the D-pad. Originally, that was my intent, was I want you to take your fingers off the stick. But yeah, whatever. We'll see how that works. You guys didn't even know it worked until now, so we'll see. See, like that one. So I could have planned that a little better. I was a little too focused over here. All right, I actually want to show you guys where it's at, man. Again, on console, this is where the frame rate takes a dip, and I'll pull up the frame rate counter here just so you guys can see. So right now, at this level, I'm averaging about 60 frames a second. I unlocked VSync, so this build in particular doesn't have VSync enabled. If I did do VSync, it would lock at about 60 until chaos would happen. And then you get some stuttering, but, okay. Oh, fuck. All right, I'm about to die, but let's see if I can pull this off. Let's power up here. One more.
Repair successful.
So see, one of the things I actually did have someone bring up the idea that making you invincible on the resource itself was maybe a little OP, but I honestly think it lends even more to being a little more careless, because I think for those of you who have played it now, knowing that you used to take damage while you're on a resource, you kind of still have that habit of wanting to pull off the resource, which is fine and everything. But the thing is, I feel that it also kind of will make you a little more careless. So if you're on a resource, you're like, all right, yeah, I'm cool. And then you pick it up, and this really works in tier 2 because of the heat-seeking fireballs. They'll be coming at you, and you think you have enough time because you're on a resource, but say it's a material, you'll pick it up quicker than you really think you are, and you get hit, and you take damage. So yeah, I don't think it's OP at all. I honestly think it just lends itself to the gameplay itself. Let's see here. So Blake just said, said a little while ago, if you ever make an impossible mode, I'll be the first to complete it. Enemies that cheat one-hit death, I'll be there. Yeah, again, so to keep it on a schedule of releasing the game, there's a reason I stopped on tier 3. But that does not mean that once the game is out, or even from now until then, that I can't do little tweaks and stuff to tier 3, because that's usually where it's at. Or that I could even add just maybe one more tier with some stuff. But yeah, believe me guys, I've got some ideas for that stuff. It's super awesome. But yeah, I also don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I really appreciate everyone stopping by. Again, if you guys do have any questions, by all means, just feel free to jump in the chat. I know I've been talking a lot more than playing, so me try and focus on this run here. I'm not going to say this is the run because it's probably not. But I'll focus a little more on the game here because I know people want to see the game itself. Honestly, I just like showing the chaos because that's where it's at for me. I don't know how many people actually push themselves into the chaos mode, but on PC it's a lot better, and I'm going to strive to hit PC level performance even on base level hardware. So none of this PS4 Pro, Xbox One X bullshit. Like, I can do it. I know I can because this game's not intensive at all. Maybe on the CPU side, and that's kind of where a lot of the bottlenecks happen with a lot of these consoles. Not necessarily GPU power, but yeah, if it's CPU bound, more than likely it's because I'm being careless. It has nothing to do with the console itself. It's just memory leaks, or I'm drawing something more times than it really needs to, and stuff like that. But yeah, when I started this early access thing, one of the things I wanted to focus on was making sure the game was fun first and foremost, and then getting the UI to be efficient and effective. And honestly, like even right now, I feel this UI is really aggressive. I would actually want to put in a setting in the settings page. So that's another thing that a pause menu would work for, is you can disable and enable the HUD. Also, I can maybe even just add a button kind of combination that you can do to enable disable on the fly. That might be better than ruining your flow and kind of, oh, let me pause the game real quick and check whatever. But yeah, so reader, if you still have some people in here that are new, that are wondering about the pause screen, out of the way first. This is the thing, right? Like, obviously you're familiar with it, but yeah, if you hold down what would be the pause button, which on PS4 is options, you self-destruct, and that will reset your leaderboard position. So it's kind of like you're giving up. It was just a really dumb way of me to say, like, no, man, this game's hardcore, But yeah, I'm not that much of an asshole. At least I'd like to think I'm not.
Material retreat.
Hate speech, right? So I'm trying to get my missiles updated. There we go. Okay, so now that all my weapons, once you have all of your weapons on the left, now you can destroy the left, like massive style. So on the right side, now you can activate your shields. That's what that hold thing is for, the hold icon. So you hold down on PS4, it's gonna be square. You activate your multiplier, and now my shields are active on the left-hand side. And as long as I keep my shields active and keep a multiplier going, the multiplier keeping the multiplier active is what keeps the shields up. And as long as I keep the shields up, I can actually boost into things and not take any damage, which is awesome. And the multiplier is in the center of the screen. Every time you kill a tracker with a repeater, you'll see a little pip pop up underneath. That lets you know that you're one more closer to restarting the multiplier. So notice, yeah, here I'm starting to take a hit to frame rate. Fuck. So if you shoot the wrong thing, that immediately cancels your multiplier. So let's start it right back up. And also shooting missiles at the voids in the background instantly change the multiplier. So that's always cool. Most of you know this, but also you can hold down the X button. On Xbox, it would be the A button. That will help you pick up resources a lot quicker. When you're in this mode, that is actually super helpful. Also, you can blow off a BFP, which is, well, I don't need to do it here, I'll do it. I also have the danger sensor, fucking shit. I also have the danger sensor activated, which slows down time when I'm about to take damage. But so here's the thing I was talking about, the Russian firewall. That's what I'm going to be working on in the next couple days, is giving it like a siren, some kind of a notification to, at least in audio, let you know, hey, the Russians are coming, the Russians are coming. So yeah, that way you can pay attention to that. outside of, you know, the bonus is in the center of the screen. So if you see that, you immediately know. But again, most people don't focus on the bonus actively, right? They kind of just see it passively or whatever the case. But if there's like some kind of siren just saying, hey, the Russians are coming, and you know the Russian firewall is coming, then yeah, it's kind of crazy. That's a lot of ships. Okay, so give me a sec. Since I died, let me go right back into the chat real quick. Giving up bad? Definitely. Blake. So Blake asked, when will this version be pushed to Steam? I'll probably push, depending on what I'm able to, whether I'm able to fix these small little bugs here, which are basically as simple. I'll just show you real quick. Hopefully tomorrow. For example, right now, if you notice moving the options, the tier should actually go away. It's not going away, and I know why. I just haven't gone in to fix it yet. But that should go away. Yeah, so you can't select a tier when you're on another one, but what should happen is when you go back to the mission, that's when it enables, it resets to 1, blah, blah, blah. I should have done tier 2, sorry. Okay, so for the hell of it, this will be the run. Yeah, this will be the run, and then I'll call it a night so I can get back to work, and you guys can go do what you need to do. Yeah, so also the leaderboard in the center of the screen will show you the next score to beat, which I thought was pretty rad. I've always wanted to have that in there. Thanks to my buddy Ivan, I finally was able to. And yeah, so if you guys are on Discord at all and you see Vortex, that's my buddy Ivan. Thank him any chance you get for the leaderboards, because he coded them himself, so I cannot thank him enough for that. He's in Norway, so yeah. I met him at GDC this year, which was awesome. He just kind of sat down, liked the game. You know, we clicked really well. He was a super cool guy. And, you know, I started talking to him about, you know, the leaderboards and how they break with the integer overflow and blah, blah, blah. And one thing led to another. He was just like, hey, man, you ever need someone to explain it to you or show you how you can pull off that leaderboard thing? Let me know. I finally ended up reaching out to him, and yeah, man, dude's a man of his word. I didn't expect him to write the whole leaderboard system, though. That's what floored me. But yeah, forever grateful for that dude's time and skill. He is from a studio called Snowflake. No, not Snowflake. That's a bad word. That's hate speech. Snow something. Snowcastle Games. They worked on a game called Earthlock. So if you guys want to check that out, it should be on Steam, PS4, and Xbox One. And currently, oh, I don't know if I can say this. They're working on something. So I'll just keep the mouth shut there. But yeah, dude's name is Vortex on the Discord. But above all, guys, like seriously, I really appreciate each and every one of you being active on the Discord when you can, stopping by here to, you know, give me some thoughts. And more than anything, you know, people like Blake as well, like, dude bought 10 copies of the game directly from me so he could give to friends that he wanted to get into the game, you know? So that's super awesome. I really appreciate that. Alright, so I'm gonna try and get the hell out of here, but I also want to get some points, man. So also leaderboards are they're a work in progress right now on PS4. Again, it's all thanks to Ivan, because he had to code all that up, and he doesn't have access to a PS4 dev kit. So when we're working on it, like, he's got to write the code, push it, and then I gotta, you know, like build it all, push it to the PS4, and see if it worked or not, and then basically figure out what the hell it is that's causing it and stuff like that. So I got plenty of help. I'm gonna try and push my luck here a bit. Oh, so yeah, also if you double tap the down button, it speeds them up even more. So again, that's not implemented the way I want it to. I'll just put it that way. So don't worry too much about that for now, guys. If it does become a problem, by all means, let me know in the Discord. But it shouldn't be that big of a problem right now. But I will be fixing that. It will be properly implemented. Honestly, a lot of these shortcuts have mostly been for me to just, when I'm at a show, to kind of speed up the process of getting to a level like this, of like, oh yeah, you just need to kind of be doing this. You need to get to this level of chaos to really push your score. And then, you know, I can kind of shoot that, not worry about that side anymore, focus over here. Okay, so all of this material here, triple tap the right trigger, use a BFP, pick it all up at once. I got 7 material there, instantly. Fuck it, let's bring it back. Now there's on a cooldown. Remember though, every time you blast off a BFP, you're gonna use a part. So you just gotta be careful. Right now I've got 2 spares and 1 still on the board, so I've got 3 BFPs I can blow off and pick up material immediately. Not paying too much attention, but I feel I'm still doing all right. So all of this material here, so I'll pick it up at once. Got it. 5, that's not bad. Okay, set up. Now I got the Russian firewall. Let's see if I can push this. Where's the center? Where's the center? Nice. Oh yeah, suckers! Also, I've said from the beginning, the music is not final, so there might still be some tweaks to the music, and because I also want to release a soundtrack with the game. Some people like that kind of stuff. I personally do. I don't pick up too many, but I know it's a thing people like, and I personally like it, so it's a win-win for both, I guess. You know, for those who don't know, obviously I'm a musician first and foremost, so that's another reason why I would kind of like to do that as well. Is I like to write music. Got a spare. Also, a bit of a pro tip is when you are really low on your link and you have enough, you're going to activate your shields. Don't tap the square button, just let your shields activate, because that will refuel you 100% also. It'll fill up the link 100%. So for example, right here, oh well, I have my shields activated, sorry. Again, hard to focus on everything all at once. Okay, still got enough. I could probably take a couple more hits. Pick up some material, man. Now I've got, oh, I still don't have recovery bonus. I mean, critical health, so that's good. Low health. Sliver bonus, though, man. Sliver bullet, that's, yeah, that sliver of health is where you can really push your luck, too, man. Got all these spares here. See, and so a thing with the ADHD thing that I'm talking about is a lot of these twin stick shooters get you to this level of like just mindless fucking chaos, and you're like totally like go, and you die, and you've kept your score. And to me, like that, you know, I'm reaching that level of chaos, but I'm trying to prove a point. I'm trying to be like, dude, be aware of what's going on. Don't just shut off your brain. Like, there's chaos, but you gotta push through it, take advantage of it. I see the walls coming in. I might not look like I am, but I'm trying to push my luck. Nice! Lived another 30 seconds. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So every time the walls come in and you push them back, whenever that Russian firewall comes in, you've got till another 2.5 minutes to go. Fuck. Okay, fuck it, I'm out. 84 million, that's not bad. Pretty intense too. So yeah, real quick, I'll go to tier 2 and this is the run, guys. So if I die, you know, I'll call the stream. I've actually been going for an hour and a half, which I could go on forever, but you know, I don't want to make these streams too long. So yeah, this is the tier 2 screen. So obviously the tier is gone there, so that's working. Again, I'm kind of just talking to myself in terms of some bugs that I've noticed. And this is obviously placeholder. This is going to change a little, but this is what I was talking about in the title screen. When you switch on the options, details will show at the bottom telling you, like, for example, when you go to the prologue, there'll be an audio log that kind of says what the story should be, gives you some, like, how to play the game and stuff like that, the audio panel, all that kind of stuff, leaderboards, all that stuff. Here, you can obviously choose your options. So you could go no polar bear, which obviously you guys are familiar with. That's 0%, no wager. Then there's shits and giggles. Then there's balls deep. The little locks there, obviously that's a bug also. Those I haven't replaced yet. Something's gonna go there. And yeah, so this is actually really dumb. Hold down the button, notice the confirm changes. Yeah, that's super dumb. But I love that, it's pretty cool. Real quick, let me just catch up on chat. Can you slow motion if you spam the pause button quickly? So, dude, good question, man. So Blake asked, can you slow motion if you if you hit the pause button? Let me actually start this so the music isn't going. Or I guess you guys can hear me fine. Yeah, so the thing with the pause button originally that made me just kind of give up on the idea of pausing also was that I couldn't figure out a way for you to, like, if you were in the middle of a danger sensor and you paused the game and you went back to unpausing, it would cancel out the danger sensor and vice versa. So, yeah, it was really weird. So I do kind of need to figure that out. That's also another reason why I haven't put too much focus into pausing the game. For the most part, I think not too many people have asked outside of, like, Reader. Everyone else just accepted it, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Oh, well, yeah, so the pause will actually do something to the screen for that, in that effect. Kind of like how it does now when you pause, the screen starts to fade out. I love that theme. It signifies badass motherfucker mode. I might have missed what you're talking about there, Reader. It's kind of the Mario Power Star feeling. Oh, okay, yeah. The shield thing, okay. Hell yeah, here we go, Rampage. Nice. Time to use that bonus pro gameplay. Yeah, so I haven't played, Reader, this is going back to your question you asked a little while ago about playing shows. I haven't played any shows locally, actually since really I started playing started working on the game. My CD release for my band Howard Bork, my one-man band, was in July 23rd of 2013, so that's right when I dropped out of school. And that's when I started working on the game, so I haven't performed outside of maybe like 2 or 3 shows since then. But that's not something I'm doing yet, just because, you know, I have to practice. And with the day job, working on the game after the day job and then coming home to practice, I didn't want one or the other to suffer. I had to go balls out into the game, man. As much as I hate not performing, that's one of my favorite things to do. But, you know, going to PAX and stuff like that more than makes up for it, which is awesome. 12 million just like that. Blake says 12 million just like that. I'd say you make it look easy, but that still looks intense. Yeah, you kind of have to zone out, man. Got some work to do. Didn't know tier 1 got that insane. Oh yeah, it totally can. Man, the way you play and the way I play this are so different. How's that, Hummus? So Hummus said, man, the way you and I play are totally different. I'm wondering why. I'll have to borrow a few techniques. Hopefully not a ball sack silhouette. Like when my chaos ends, I like to clean things up. You just, oh yeah, dude, nah, man. Like, yeah, chaos. That's what I like. I was gonna try spamming pause to slow. All right, so caught up on chat. Let's go in. So fuck it, man. Let's do balls deep. Yeah. So once again, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I'm gonna go back into the zone here, and this one I am gonna need to focus a little more on. I might still ramble here and there, but let me focus a little more on. And Facebook, if anyone's watching on Facebook, guys, I'm sorry I can't focus too much on that chat because it's a completely separate screen over here. If you guys do want to chat at all, by all means, just go to the YouTube or Twitch channel. But this is right about to end anyway. And just for those of you who might have jumped in late, this is the PS4 version running. So I have a frame rate counter going down at the bottom left so you guys can see how performance kind of drops when chaos happens. But yeah, this is tier 2 here. So I'm gonna have some, at least, oh shit, it's actually tier 1. This is a bug. Notice there's no heat-seeking fireballs and the bottom of the screen says tier 1. Yeah, that's a bug. I need to fix that one too. Okay. I can make a note of that. It's not a big deal. So let me just focus on extraction. Yeah, so I actually, I'll just restart because I lost my bonus anyway. And I'll just jump into tier 2. Okay, so that's new and that's a bug too. That's supposed to skip that screen. This might be interesting. I might still have my bonus. Nope, still tier 1. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to look at that bug then. I'm gonna have to fix that there. But yeah, so I guess I'll call it there, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, and I'll be back when I do some more changes to the game and stuff. And hopefully, I'll do a stream before PSX. Just a short one, nothing too massive, just to show you guys the build that I'll be taking to PSX. But PSX, man, like, holy shit, that was, yeah, I cannot express how awesome that is. That, like, Sony chose the game for PSX. Granted, you know, I've been, you know, telling my account manager all the time, but this happened to be the year, man, and it could not have been a better year. So yeah, I'll be there representing all you motherfuckers, because yeah, you guys make this 1 million times worth it. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll tell Cal, dude. She's normally keeping tabs on the chat for me, but she wasn't feeling good tonight, so she's just resting, and I'm just kind of doing this thing. Thanks, man. And yeah, again, you know, I appreciate that. You know, tell your friends about the game, whatever, but if they don't like it, man, they don't like it. Do not, by any means, feel like you're disappointing me in any way, because you're not. You got your copy, you're here. That's all that matters to me, really. And yeah, I mean, that's it, man. I'm going to keep working on this, trying to make it as badass as I can, and hopefully I can do a stream before PSX, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Reader, Hummus, Blake, all of you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night.